Open the program MicroLab PC. Click Start. Clean the crystal by wetting a Kim wipe with acetone. Do not use acetone directly on the IR. Also, do not leave the acetone bottle aimed at the computer or instrument so it does not spill accidentally. Wipe the stage of the IR and also the tip of the crystal. Click Next. If you have a liquid sample, place a drop of the liquid on the stage over the circle. If you have a solid, place the solid over the opening on the stage. Swing the arm of the crystal over and turn the knob clockwise until you hear a click. You do not need to close the arm if you have a liquid. Click Next. A preliminary spectra will appear. Click Next again. To print your spectra, click Data Handling. Then click Report. A PDF will appear. Choose File Print. Turn the knob counterclockwise to release the crystal and sweep any solid and dispose of it in the recovered chemical container. Wipe the stage and crystal with the Kim wipe that has been wet with acetone. For liquid samples, place one drop of your compound of interest and place it in an NMR tube. Pipette 700 microliters of deuterated chloroform into the tube using a micropipetter. If you do not know how to use it, see the instructor. Put a cap on the tube and invert the sample several times to mix. Bring the tube down to the NMR. When you come into the NMR instrument room, there will be a table to your left. Wipe the outside of the tube with a Kim wipe to get rid of oils and fingerprints on the tube. Place your sample in a blue spinner. You will then place the blue holder into the clear NMR tube gauge to ensure your sample is at the correct height. Push the tube down as far as it will go. Do not change any settings on the NMR tube gauge. Bring the sample over to the autosampler and place it in the ring. Remember what number you placed it in. At the computer station, open Icon NMR if it is not already open. In the middle right of the screen, click on Change User. Select Chem 225. Find your tube number in the holder column. Double-click on the arrow next to your sample number location. It should now say Available. Select the drop-down arrow in the disk column and make sure the data is being sent to a Chem 225 folder. In the name column, enter a sample name including your initials, experiment, sample, identity. For example, use TNN 03 or 04 for this experiment and unknown A. In the number column, select 1. The solvent should be CdCl3 or chloroform D, and the experiment should be N-proton pro 1H experiment with spinning. Click on Submit on the middle left. You may choose to come back at a later time to process the spectra. When you are ready to do so, open Bruker Topspin 3.5 PI6. Find your file by clicking on the Chem 225 folder, etc. Keep clicking until you get to a ZG file, then click on the gray circle until you see a spectrum appear. To integrate your protons, click on Integrate. Integration should appear when you see peaks at 7.2 ppm and 0. These are standards for deuterated chloroform and TMS. These do not need to be integrated. You can zoom in on the area of interest by clicking and dragging across the screen as shown by the green line. Then click Define New Integrals. Notice that the button is highlighted in orange, allowing you to manually integrate. Define the integral by left-clicking on the left side of the peak and dragging the line to the right side of the same peak. Repeat this for all the peaks. Right-click on the peak and choose Calibrate Set Integral. And you can choose to set it to 2H or 1H if you know what your protons are. When you're ready to pick your peaks, click on Pick Peaks. Delete all of the peaks. Click on Define New Peaks. Click and drag as you did with the integrals, making sure that the tip of the peak is in the green box. When you are ready to print, click on the icon with a disk and arrow. Under the Publish tab, select Plot Layout, and you will see your spectrum appear with the labeled peaks and integrations appear below the spectrum.